Hey guys, in this video, we're going to cover the settings for the RayTrader, and in subsequent videos, we're going to cover how to use it on the chart and what each trade panel does. So let's begin with the settings first of all. Now the first heading is the position options heading. Now you have target 1, target 2, target 3, and target 4 there. They all have the same settings, so I'm just going to run through target 1 and then you can apply those to target 2, 3, and 4. So target 1 has, first of all, if you want to turn it on or off by default, and that's the little checkbox. Then you have the quantity in number of contracts that you can set for your target 1. The last setting for the targets is the number of ticks from the entry where you want your target to be. After those, we have the initial stop loss. Now the initial stop loss is in number of ticks as well, and that's from entry as well. And the last setting for the position options is the number of contracts by default. And we have this one set to 2. You can set it to whatever you want, and this is going to be the default when you enter a trade. These values will return back to whatever you have set in here. So these are the very, very default ones. So even if you adjust them on the fly, and you can, it will always come back to this once you exit the trade and you're completely flat. Next, we have the Trade Manager heading. Now, inside of the Trade Manager heading, you have the break-even settings and the trail settings. First of all, we're going to go through the break-even settings. And these, again, are default, same as in the position options. These are default, so once you exit the trade, it's going to revert back to these. Okay, so the break-even settings. You can turn auto break-even on or off by default. Then you have the trigger. Right now, the trigger is in number of ticks from your entries. So if you're 12 ticks in profit, then it's automatically going to move your stop loss to break even. Last but not least, for the break even, we have the break even offset, and this is number of ticks from the entry. If it's negative, it's going to be before the entry, and if it's positive, it's going to be after the entry for each trade signal. Then we have the trail setting. You get a choice in between 5 different trail types. One of them's no trail type. First one's the parabolic SAR, then we have the chandelier, then we have high-low, and then we have the swing. And obviously, last but not least, the none. Now for the trail, you have the trigger and the offset like you do for your break even, but this is for the trail. So when you're 16 ticks in profit, it's going to start trailing behind your currently selected trail type. Obviously, if you have none, it's not going to trail anything. And the offset is number of ticks away from the different trail types. And I'm going to show you when we go to the chart, I'm going to show you how that looks. But the trail type has one last option, and that's number of bars back. So you don't always have to trail behind the current bar that is printing right now. You can trail 2 or 3 or whatever many bars before you want to trail behind your currently selected trail type. Now the next chapter is the trail indicator settings, and those are the settings for the 3 indicators that we can adjust. First one's the parabolic SAR, where you can have acceleration, acceleration step, and acceleration maximum. Then we have the chandelier length and the chandelier multiplier. And last but not least, we have the swing period. Now, these are the only 3 that you can adjust. For none, obviously you don't adjust anything. And for bar high low, you're using the bars. Now we're into the maximums chapter. Very first option is the Ray Snap feature, which is the maximum number of ticks that you can set for each trade separately. And you can change that depending on whatever time frame you trade. We're day trading, so we set this to 15 ticks. We don't want to lose more than 15 ticks. And obviously this works differently on each different instrument as well. But if you're trading, for example, a 60-minute time frame, you can set this to 100 or 150. Depends on what your trading plan really says that you can have your maximum stop set to. We also have the maximum target, and that's still with the Ray Snap feature. And this maximum target, again, is in number of ticks. We have it set to 300 because we don't have a maximum target in our trading plan, but you might want to reduce that to whatever your trading plan says. Then we have the maximum order quantity per trade. Now, we set this to 3 because we don't want to trade more than 3 contracts in one trade at a time, even though we're adding on later on, or if it's going in our favor or if it's going against us, we're adding on to it. We don't want to add on more than 3 contracts. So that's why we have it set to 3. But for example, you might trade a lot of size and you might trade 50 contracts and you might want to limit yourself at 50 contracts. You don't want to end up reaching 100 for whatever reason. You can set this to whatever you guys want. Then we have the maximum daily loss and the maximum daily win, and that's in dollars. And then we have the maximum daily win percent. Now, with the maximum daily loss, it's a number of dollars. That's how many you lose. Bam, you're done for the day. But with the maximum daily win, we actually implemented something different just to help you guys keep going on a winning day. So for example, if let's say you hit your maximum winning dollars of $2,000 for the day. Now we have the maximum daily win percentage set to 10%. What that means is once we hit our $2,000 for the day, then we take 10% of that $2,000 that we won, and we're only allowed to lose 10% of that $2,000. So that's $200 right now. Let's say you continue winning and you get to $10,000 for that day. Well, if you get to $10,000 for that day, then you're only allowed to lose 10%, which is still $1,000. This allows you to continue on your winning streak if you continuously win, but don't give back to the market what you've already won. So if you lose $200, then that's it, you're done for the day. If you hit your $2,000 limit, if you hit your $10,000 limit, from that $10,000, if you lose 10%, which is $1,000, then you're done for the day as well. Then we have some display options, and this is really tied into the little boxes that are going to appear on the chart. I'm going to show you that when we actually get to the chart. But you get to choose the color of on and off. You get to choose the font type, the font size, whatever you want in there. You get to choose the colors for the boxes and the colors for the X. You get to customize this to your liking so it pops up on your own charts. And in the display settings, we actually have two more buttons, which is the show buy market and sell market button and the show bid and ask buttons. Those I'm going to show you in just a second when we go to the charts, but you can turn those on and off so you're not tempted to click the buy now or sell now button. You only work off the lines. All right, so that's it for the settings for the RayTrader. Now, head to the next video where I'm going to explain the different panels, and the video after that I'm going to explain and show you how to use it on a chart. So stick with us and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you like its content, then please hit the like and subscribe buttons on YouTube, share it to your social media, follow us on social media, and I'll see you in the next video. Have an awesome rest of your day until then.